race fans, welcome to round 4 of our 2025 SRAM Downhill Southeast Series here at Windrock Bike Park. I'm your host, Rich Moore with the Gravity Coop, and we're excited to bring you all of the action. Nut and Shakedown brings us to the Mighty Rock, our longest running venue for a classic late spring showdown right here in the green room. With a wet and slick track, speed is your friend till it isn't. We're over the mid-season hump and our committed series racers are getting locked in on the chase for the overall. Colin Mckelier, Nick Frazier, and Christopher Grice are sitting in a tight 1-2-3 in the men, with Lucinda Chewbacca, Raina Logar, and Cali Stewart holding down the top spots for our pro women. Racers will face a classic Windrock course of ever-changing conditions, and race day is always a gamble. Let's head down to the pits to check in with some of our racers to hear their perspective as this weekend's puzzle unfolds.
Just wrapped up practice here at Windrock down in Southeast, day 1. Pretty slick conditions, honestly. It's kind of the toughest conditions here, I think. Either really dry or super muddy, and this is like hard pack, but still really slick. It's kind of like the rocks and roots and dirt is just sweating like the rest of us.
It was a little bit greasy this morning for sure. We had quite a bit of fresh sections on the track we built this year. And it rained a little bit last night, so it took a little while to kind of skid the grease off the top and burn the lines in. But the track really, I felt like, was starting to come around really good by the end of practice.
Right out of the gate, you have a flat left-hand corner, and it goes into some rocks, which are honestly, I feel like, kind of crucial because you could slide out there easy if it's slick, if you overcook it and you're not used to going that fast from practice. And then you come across a straight section before you cross Talladega and drop down. And there's an inside line that you can hug tight and a little chute, or you can go low into this catch berm. And then that takes you into the next rock garden on Snake Rock.
Definitely some key sections out there, like the rock garden. Seen a few different lines, gonna try some of those out. Some sneaky insides, we'll have to see how they work.
The main rock garden is pretty flat. We've raced it a bunch of times, but coming in super fast right now with it being slick, just trying to hold speed, hold your line.
Yeah, I definitely think keeping momentum through that rock garden and a few other corners, get those right and you'll be good.
Another key section for me is the new fresh cut bits on Snake Rock. They're pretty loose and you can overcook it a bit, at least in the slick. Go a little too fast, too quick and get out of line. Hopefully it's a bit drier for seeding run.
A bit lower down the track, there's some pretty key sections. A couple corners that are trying to figure out to go inside or outside, and then one really key spot with a little gap that's trying to decide if that's it or not.
So there's a gap before the ravine that is pretty new. I've never rode it before. I learned that you have to try and carry speed throughout it so you can clear it well.
It's pretty scary looking. Like, I was intimidated on track walk. It's not as gnarly as it looks. You just have to commit to it. It's pretty slick coming into it. You come down like a rock chute and you can get a little out of line, but as long as you set up straight and fully commit to it, you just pull and you make it.
The whole way down, all the hard pack from the Tennessee National is really slick and it's hard to get traction and know where the line is. So just kind of pushing there and try not to go too much.
The whoops are a fun part of the ravine because there's so many options in them. Personally, I just double, but a lot of the boys, they do like a triple or they manual them, so it's pretty fun to watch. You do this step up into this big sweeping left-hand berm, and that takes you into the Red Bull drop, which is very blind, and you just hit that and you land so fast on into the skipper jump right before the last step up.
Hello, race fans. Welcome to round number 4. I'm Will Washam in the announcing booth for SRAM Downhill Southeast. This series is heating up just like the weather, and I'm here with Sean Grizz McClendon. I hear that track is getting faster by the minute.
Will, you are not kidding, and things are heating up. Thankfully, we're racing here in May as opposed to June because things were real hot last season. But if you look at the seating list here, we've got Cali Stewart, round 1 race winner, battling with Raina Logar. Will, these ladies are separated by just 2 points in the overall, 3rd and 4th respectively. They're looking to make some ground on Lucinda Chewbacca today.
And we've got some more experience here in the field. Abby Ronka seated in 3rd place. Aaron Golwin 4th, Madison Lee 5th, and we are going to see Caitlin Farmer take to the start line today. She was a DNS yesterday, but she's going to start our show off as the hot seat rider. Caitlin Farmer out of Atlanta, Georgia, of course, has been ripping it on the Lindsey Wilson cycling team, a legendary collegiate cycling program. Actually turned out some pretty big names from that program. You know a few of them, Grizz.
That I do. Well, J.D. Swangan was a big name before he joined the Lindsey Wilson squad, but yeah, that's been a legendary collegiate mountain bike team for many, many years. As Caitlin Farmer steps the back end out.
Yeah, Caitlin always quick in the rocks here at Windrock. You can see all those skills on display, pumping, finding a rhythm. Just took a podium at the Collegiate National Champs in dual slalom, actually.
We're looking at split 1, 47.7. That dual slalom speed is certainly translating to downhill pace. And Will, just looking at the track, you can see these nice sections that are under the canopy of the trees still have amazing traction, nice and tacky. But where it's exposed in the sun, it's starting to dry out. It's not dusty, but it's certainly rolling faster than any other day here this weekend at Windrock.
Caitlin looking pretty committed so far on this race run. You know, it's been kind of a long road to recovery for her with a major knee injury and surgery, so she's been working her way back up to pace. Still young, though, just 22 years of age, wrapped up her senior season at Lindsey Wilson.
Farmer's certainly looking fit. I'm not seeing any mistakes in her riding. Her composure is looking strong. Her form on the bike is looking fantastic.
It's a 223.08 there at split number 2, and that's right on pace with that fastest split we saw from Cali Stewart, our number 1 seeded rider yesterday.
Yeah, Caitlin Farmer's on a heater here. It is safe to say the track is rolling a few seconds faster than it was in seeding. We are going from a wet to dry scenario. The rain did hold off Saturday night coming into Sunday's finals.
Well, it's a good one right out of the gate. Caitlin Farmer going to set our hot seat time before we jump into the top 3. Farmer powering down to the line, and it's a 3:18.93, so that is quite a standard to set, just about 1 second slower than what we saw from Cali Stewart yesterday.
Yeah, right now she's sandwiched right between Cali Stewart and Raina Logar's seeding times, and I really like that moment. That was good bike control. Farmer was hard on the brakes and avoided catastrophe and really diced it up through these rocks. I mean, this is hands down the hardest section of the track for these riders.
Top 3 coming at you here in the pro women. Abby Ronka out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, running for Specialized, Monster Armory, TLD, Deity, and O-Chain. A 3:24 is what she put down yesterday. Got some fans in that first corner.
Got some fans and some pace. Abby Ronka, you know, her riding technique really stands out to me, Will. I really appreciate her attack position on the bike. She's got such control, putting the bike right where she wants it, setting up inside, fading wide, keeping the back end from stepping out. Just textbook riding from Abby Ronka.
Well, she's been competing here at Windrock for a number of seasons at Downhill Southeast. That starting section of this track, something that we're real familiar with, but there are some new bits for racers to contend with.
Abby's aggression is bumped right up. Oh, she stalls out that corner pretty hard, but that shouldn't cost her too much time.
Oh, Grizz.
No, Will.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard her say it.
Her flat. She's got a rear flat tire. No. Yeah, she's not the only rider to do this here this weekend. A lot of flat tires here at Windrock.
What a shame. And, you know, that happens when speeds come up on race day, especially when conditions are improving. Your setup, you know, should have gone up a couple PSI, and that's probably the offending section.
Yeah, but you know what? Hats off to Abby for keeping the intensity bumped up. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off with this flat tire, but man, these square edge hits, they just bite here at Windrock.
Yeah, I think about rolled off the bead, and that's why she had the stall in that corner. Hopefully we'll see Abby at the next round to redeem herself, as we have 2 more riders to go, and it's Raina Logar out of Davis, West Virginia. Wonder if she got on TV to watch her sister compete in Poland early this morning.
I was thinking the same thing. Hats off to Xana for tearing it up in Poland. You know Raina's got to be charged up and wanting to put the Logar name on the top step here at Windrock for Downhill Southeast Round 4.
Yeah, and it's cool that we get to see Raina and Cali Stewart go head-to-head, as they're certainly the women to beat in our overall chase as we hit round number 4 this season.
Looks like Raina's doing a great job managing these inside lines, keeping good traction. The back end's not stepping out, so she's riding well within her limits. 1 second back at split 1, but we know a lot of these racers are building their runs, so she can reel that in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much terrain to cover here on this track, built off of the legendary Snake Rock Trail here at Windrock, with some new spice added in here and there. Logar riding for the Gravity Collective this year, recently onto the Frameworks frame.
Yeah, you love to see riders switching frames mid-season and getting comfortable immediately, and Raina Logar just being a testament to that in and of itself. And I'm really impressed with her braking here through this critical section. These turns really easy to overcook, and Raina is just riding with amazing composure.
Yeah, good speed right there. You could see her actually gap up and over a couple of those rocks as she gets down into lower Snake Rock. Oh, with a big move.
Gets that gap. Aaron was talking about that in the course preview, and look at how much time she's made up, Will. She's 3.35 into the green at split 2. This is looking good for Raina Logar.
This run is building just like you said, Grizz. 222.3 was that fast time at split number 2 from yesterday. So the pace is building down at the lower sections of the course from Logar. Grabs a couple power pedals.
I mean, this has just been great execution. Again, I can't point out enough, but her braking, she's been braking early and getting a phenomenal exit speed out of all these corners. Good rhythm through these whoops here into the Red Bull Ravine for Logar.
Oh, and clean there over that massive hit. So Logar sending the freshly reconstructed Red Bull Ravine. Never gets old seeing these riders rip this stuff. What's the time going to be? She's throwing one down for Cali Stewart to chase. It's a 3:14.9. 4 seconds into the green over Caitlin Farmer.
Wow, Raina Logar shaved off about 5 seconds from her seeding run, and this gap paid off dividends. What a race run. Super impressive riding. But come to expect it from these Logar sisters. They are something special.
We've got one rider left at the top of the hill, and it's Cali Stewart, winner from round 1 out of Livingston, Texas. Ready to throw it down.
Oh, got to put on for Texas. Got to risk it for the brisket. I'll tell you something about that Texas barbecue. It's the best of the best. And Cali Stewart, well, she's the best of the best out of Texas right now, and she's looking for her second race win of the 2025 SRAM Downhill Southeast season. Can she pull it off, Will?
Yeah, she's riding with a lot of purpose there on the upper section. You almost have to meter your aggression up there because that trail is so tight. And then this section right here, you just want to let it rip as she's early on the pedals.
Yeah, love the aggression on the cranks. She didn't take that inside line that we just saw from Raina Logar setting up into those rocks, but she's got her pace right back up, and split 1 is going to tell us where she's at. In the green.
Oh, yeah, she's green. And she took another inside line as she gapped down into that steep section. Hadn't seen any rider hold it that high over the off-camber rock. So this is some inspired stuff from Cali.
Yeah, Cali is just on her rev limiter. She's riding with such aggression, but in control. Not seeing any squirrely moments. She's just managing this race run with perfection.
Couple more pedals right there. Oh, and she's loose on the rear.
Nice, but again, look, she's composed. That was a big moment, but she just gathered herself, and you know, Will, her attack crank, she's just really getting aggressive on the pedals, and it's paying off for her.
We'll see where the time has gone when we get to split 2. We got this big gap coming up that we saw Raina Logar execute flawlessly. Surely Stewart's going to line that one up as well.
Yeah, you got to wonder if she doesn't do this gap, it's going to make it a nail biter, but she's going for it. Clean. Awesome riding from Stewart. And, we've got a nail-biter fight to the finish here, Will. Wow, not much, but she is in the green. It's going to come down to just smooth precision in the Red Bull Ravine.
Yeah, there's nothing in this. Just a tenth separates Raina Logar and Cali Stewart in a race that has implications beyond today. This is big implications for the overall. These two young riders don't even have their driver's license yet.
Hey, but they're going to be dangerously fast if they want to be between between the wheel or behind the wheel, between the lanes, between the tape. These girls are pinned.
Stewart with the big scrub there coming into the final jump. It's going to be a nail biter between Logar and Stewart. Cali Stewart boosting, getting great drive on the backside of that jump. And that's going to propel Stewart to a victory 1.1 seconds into the green with a 3:13 for Cali Stewart.
Unbelievable effort from the final split to the line from Stewart. She made up some serious time. What a competition. What a race we just saw, Will.
Competition's good. It's really tight. It started off slick during practice, and then it got pretty grippy. So I made a few little bubbles, but first one was pretty good.
Here's that gap that she lined up here for finals, Grizz.
Yeah, the top two ladies, the only riders to boot that for pro women, and it paid off.
And man, just the style that we saw from Stewart here, just big old scrub. Got to keep it low. It's easy to overshoot that drop. And of course, she's going to send it deep there. We're going to take a look at the podium. Pro women, Caitlin Farmer in third, Raina Logar second, and Cali Stewart with her second win of the season here at Windrock for round number 4, the SRAM Downhill Southeast. Some pretty exciting racing here in the pro women. Can't wait to see what happens as we go to round 5. Seating results from pro men and Grizz. We've got the full lineup of Gwin racing in the house. Aaron Gwin, Gavin Tomlinson going 1-2 with only 0.7 of a second in it. Mikey De Lasal in fourth.
You got to love to see Gwin Racing supporting USDH. And wow, 3 riders in the top 5. They are here to bring the heat. Looking at the overall points, though, we've got Colin Mckelier. He's in 5th place today, currently our points leader. He's got a 9-point lead over Chris Grice, who's currently in 3rd overall coming into this weekend. And then Slade Gainey making a name for himself. He's in the top 10. He's going to make the replay. He's just a couple of points back on Grice, so we've got a nice points battle. And this track is running faster, so you know these times are going to be much tighter today than they were in seeding.
Yeah, we got a lot of talent in this field and a lot to play for as we kick off round number 4 here in Windrock. Well, Grizz, Nate Kitchen will soon be a household name in USDH if he keeps this up straight off that top 10 in Mountain Creek for the Pro Downhill Series and back in action at Downhill Southeast here in Windrock.
Yeah, good old Nate Kitchen becoming a Gravity Co-op race replay regular here. And Nate has been based out of Tennessee, so he's been doing a ton of training here at Windrock. He's actually living up in Wartburg with his teammate Tegan Heap, who's unfortunately injured right now. She's recovering. But this is Nate Kitchen's debut race for Downhill Southeast, and we know this kid has pace.
And he's making that intense bark through the rocks in Snake Rock.
Yeah, man, he is just comfortable. 36.79 at split 1, and his aggression is just to the rev limiter. Kitchen looking like he's charged up and ready to rock, coming off a hot race last weekend at Monster Pro Downhill.
Well, he's a strong rider, and it looks like he's pretty tall and lanky as well, and his corner speed so far has been unreal.
Yeah, you can tell these training runs are really paying off for Kitchen here. Looks like he knows his way around the mountain.
Oh, high on that camber, too.
Yeah, that was a nice little Scando flick. Probably unintentional, but he's just on the edge.
Well, man, a Downhill Southeast race win at Windrock certainly means something. It's the venue you want to get a victory at on this circuit. And Kitchen, he's our first ride on the show. He's already pushing like he's trying to win.
Oh, and he just greased that technical gap like it was nothing. That is a spicy split too, Will.
Yeah, it was, and I thought he was about to go off the edge of that wooden bridge. He held it together. It was just a couple centimeters from going into the ditch and throwing it all away.
Nate Kitchen is not holding back, is he? And, to your point about him throwing around that bike, he is just getting more and more comfortable on his intense M1 as this season unfolds. And look at this pace.
Oh, hit us with the manual to double out. Kitchen staying super low there over the drop. So nothing between the finish line but a couple booters for Nate Kitchen as he starts us off with a heater. He's going to cut the inside of that jump, too. It's a 2:37.72. That's going to be 3 seconds faster than what we saw from Aaron Gwin yesterday.
Wow, Nate Kitchen has just thrown down the fastest time of the weekend. And he is our first rider to drop. You know, he did have a mechanical in seating yesterday, but he did not hold back today, rocking that Michael Jordan 23. Look at this scrub. Oh, my God, moment of the run. That was beautiful.
Oh, man, that's our first rider. We are just getting started here. Slade Gainey out of Greenville, South Carolina, one of a slew of young riders that's stepping up into the pro class. And as you mentioned, Grizz, he's right in the mix for the overall points hunt.
Absolutely, inside the top 5 and really starting to make a name for himself here at Downhill Southeast. And Gainey's aggression is at the rev limiter.
Oh, my.
Oh, what a save.
Oh, those tire knobs are screaming, and he's still at the pace. Didn't rattle him at all.
That was unbelievable. I mean, that was like a Sam Hill with Clay Porter behind the lens kind of shot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Full drift. It's a 40.2, so a little bit back on that time from Kitchen, but certainly a respectable split. That's right there in touch with Gavin Tomlinson from yesterday.
Absolutely, and considering that big unintentional drift that he saved, he can reel that back in. It's damage control right now, but you know, 3 seconds, over 3 seconds is a lot of time to make up on this tight track. But if he's able to just maintain really good braking here and good pump and flow, I think he can bring it in.
Yeah, there was a stall in a corner just a few shots back, and we're likely to see that because folks are just going so much faster today. They may overcook a braking zone. Maybe that braking zone needs to be earlier than it was earlier in the week when speeds were just a little bit lower, but Gainey just breaking traction all over the place.
Absolutely. Slade Gainey on an aggressive race run here today. Oh, that stall and that left-hander, that's going to cost him a bit, but he greased that technical gap right there on the cranks. Oh, he's lost a little bit more time, actually quite a bit more time, Will.
Yeah, 156.47. That's going to be about 6 seconds slower than our fastest second split from yesterday. And you know, you're going to want to be close to those times that we saw from yesterday, just knowing that conditions are that much better today.
Right. The track is definitely rolling faster, several seconds for every rider. But you know, I'm looking at Gainey and thinking that big drift up top, I think he's just trying to play catch up, and he's overriding a little bit, and it's just working against him the whole way down, unfortunately.
Yeah, crazy thing is that drift probably didn't even cost him time. But it'll certainly play games.
Yeah, just got the adrenaline pumping and just kind of put him in a manic state where he's just, you know, wired.
Well, it's 2:46 for Slade Gainey. He's going to slot into 4th place, 8 seconds back. Still plenty of racing for this young man this season.
I mean, even with that big moment, he was still about 5 seconds faster than his seating time. So that tells us this track is definitely rolling much faster than it was yesterday for seating.
Coming into this flat left-hander, this is going to be a decisive section for the race.
Yeah, braking early for these corners is critical.
David Kahn out of Etowah, North Carolina, riding for the Pisgah Trail Company, dropping in 7th in seating yesterday. Down in North Carolina, they call him the Trail Terrier. He's always sniffing out a good time in the dirt.
Sniffing out good times and good lines. I mean, David Kahn, a veteran. Look at that already, just setting the example. Going tape to tape through those rocks. Effortless flow.
Yeah, Kahn's full downhill mode now. Of course, he was really serious into enduro. Actually took part in a couple EWS rounds as he glides his way through these rocks, but he's been heavy in the downhill scene, and it shows.
Oh, yeah, his aggression and intensity is screaming downhill pedigree. Look at that gap. Look at the flow from Kahn.
Yeah, he's right there in touch. So he's 3 seconds back in split number 1, but we got to remember Nate Kitchen just lit it up on that run.
Absolutely. That is the fastest time on the weekend. So David Kahn still on a really good pace, but to your point, Will, we just saw some magic from our first rider, Nate Kitchen.
Man, but David Kahn's throwing one down today. He's feeling it. And you mentioned pedigree, Grizz. This guy was at our very first Downhill Southeast race back in 2016, a few years ago, but he's still searching for that top three.
Did you see that gap? That was sick. David Kahn, man, this guy is just such a pleasure to watch ride a bike. He is so talented.
Wow, that gap totally surprised me. Hadn't seen anyone even touch that edge of the track. He's been 11th at round 1, 7th at round 2, 14th at round 3. Needs to find a big result, and he's putting one together.
You know, he's hitting all these gaps. It's tough to see where he's losing the time. Wow, 9.32 back. Where did he lose the time? He's got all of the magic jumps that you would think would put him green at these splits, but unfortunately, it's just not going his way today.
Yeah, that is a little bit perplexing. It's been an aggressive run, and it's looked inch perfect thus far. Kahn quick on the pedals there out of that turn.
Well, the time doesn't agree, but this has certainly been the most exciting race run on the day. I mean, just those gaps that David Kahn was able to pull out of his sleeve are respectable. I mean, the guts it takes to pull those moves. Whew.
Yeah, even hit us with a double, triple out of the whoops as David Kahn wraps up his run here. Round number 4, SRAM downhill southeast. Kahn will cross the line.
We know he's capable.
And he'll go 7th, so 12 seconds off the pace of Nate Kitchen. Yeah, really perplexing, but certainly a fun one to watch.
Absolutely. You know, David Kahn able to shave off 2 seconds, but out of the gate, I mean, look at this line he took. That was amazing, and he just kept it up. But, you know, maybe some things happened off camera. This is the highlight of the race run. I mean, that gap takes some serious huevos, Will.
Yeah, it does, right into one of the steepest sections of the track. As we go to Chris Liebig. Liebig seated yesterday in 6th place out of Hardegrave, Maryland. Young rider with a ton of talent.
So much talent for the Defiant Racing rider. And Liebig has just been, you know, he's been consistent this season, but I did speak with his dad earlier in the day, and it sounds like he's made some adjustments to his suspension settings that are enabling him to, explode corners like that, but also have less hand and arm pump fatigue. So that was a big, big move by Liebig. I mean, he blasted that corner.
Yeah, he's obviously feeling good on the bike. He's throwing this thing around. Oh, and he's in touch. So 1.39 to 38.18.
Yeah, that is on the day. I mean, that's a fair margin, but he is certainly capable of bringing that together and really building into this run. You know, I think for Liebig here, a lot of these tight corners that he's about to hit, they're going to favor these smaller riders, right? He'll be able to brake earlier and actually slow down and essentially get better exit speed. You know, Nate Kitchen, dabbing a foot for Liebig. That won't cost him too much, but I mean, Nate Kitchen threw down such an amazing run. You got to be near perfect today.
As Liebig charges on, of course, took a win last year. Kind of blew everybody away. Took us all by surprise when he took that win at Massanutten. Still so young. Just 17 years of age this year.
No kidding. And I also did get the update. Chris Liebig will be heading to the next round of the World Cups. So he got himself a slot, and with making that gap looking as easy as he just did, he certainly deserves a shot to go World Cupping.
Yeah, it's always awesome to tune into the World Cups and see the Downhill Southeast family making it happen overseas. And Liebig certainly deserving of that opportunity. He's been mixing it up with his teammate Colin Mckelier this year. They're right there in the points. We'll see Colin here in just a bit.
Oh, yeah, Defiant Racing has been a staple team on the Downhill Southeast circuit for... Will, you would know better the stats better than I do, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, we've seen some great riders come up through their ranks, Liebig being one of them. This final jump for Liebig, he's going to cut the inside, wind it up, and it's a 2:44, so he goes 3rd. That's going to be a nice, respectable spot to be. We've still got 5 to go.
Liebig, great ride. I mean, I really like that rock-to-rock gap. I mean, look at what you avoid. Those rocks are heinous. Right around him. You know, Liebig just kind of bled a little bit of time. Nate Kitchen just threw that aggression up and never let off, so.
Well, and here is Liebig's teammate Colin Mckelier, new rider to the Defiant Racing squad for this year out of Laguna Niguel, California. But he's been out here at Downhill Southeast all of the rounds, and he's leading our points overall.
Oh, yeah, and taking a different line than his teammate Chris Liebig, kind of just split in the middle but avoiding those heinous rocks. And look at this pace already. Mckelier is absolutely flying out of the top.
On a double there into Snake Rock. Almost gets taken out by the tree. Early on the pedals.
Good thing he's got that shake weight up front to kind of bring things back together. Don't want to smack a tree. Never a good time.
38.81 for Mckelier. Looking very aggressive up here, and that kind of style is going to pay off when things get a little steeper.
Absolutely. And our points leader here, you know, he's not just competing for a podium today, but he's also looking to extend his overall points lead. So he's got a lot going on, a lot of pressure, and right now, Mckelier is holding it up. I mean, you got to wonder what's going on between the ears between this rider today. Wow, he's pushing it. Good recovery. That'll cost him a bit, but man, that could have ended poorly.
Oh, and he just slams into the right-hand side of the track right there. We've seen some other riders kind of tiptoe through that off camber. So yeah, Mckelier throwing everything he's got at this one. We got Chris Grice coming up later, one of those riders trying to chase down Colin Mckelier in the overall.
Here we go. Mckelier back on form. He's got his intensity backed off just a little bit, but that fluidity is up, and that should equal faster pace. We've got split 2 coming up here momentarily. How's he going to handle this gap? No problems for Mckelier.
Yeah, smooth there over the gap. So it's a 154.14. He's sitting in 3rd place right now. So really where he wants to be. And hadn't seen anybody come close to that time in Nate Kitchen, by the way.
No, Nate Kitchen is just knocking him down. First rider to drop, and no one has touched his time. And it, you know, looking at the aggression of all these riders, everybody's hanging it out, but it's who can really just minimize the mistakes, keep the aggression up, but not stall out in turns, not overbrake, brake too late. So Mckelier just doing everything he can, but wow.
That rhythm was thing of beauty right there. Manual would hit, I believe he got a triple out before hitting that big rock drop. We'll see Mckelier give us a couple more power pedals.
Yeah, there's time to be made up here in the Red Bull Ravine, going deep.
He's into 3rd place, Grizz. 6.49 back on that time in Nate Kitchen, but he's 3rd with only 4 riders to go, so he'll be in the top 10 today.
Well, he shaved off several seconds from his seating time, but wow, threading the needle on that tree. That was an unbelievable close moment. So, wow, I mean, these riders are really hanging it out today. Strong ride. Another great save here. I mean, Mckelier had several big moments, didn't he?
Mikey De Lasal from Gwin Racing. Seated in 4th yesterday out of Vancouver, BC. Great to see the entire Gwin Racing squad lining up today at Downhill Southeast.
Oh, yeah. De Lasal is an exciting rider to watch. I really enjoy anyone who's learning from Aaron Gwin because you can just see the rhythm and flow and just the aggression. I mean, that is Aaron Gwin to the T, and you can see it starting to bleed out in De Lasal's riding, and he's looking a little bit Gwinny, isn't he?
Yeah, and he set up really well around that tree that we saw Mckelier have to do some elbow yoga to get around. That exit speed really good.
A little elbow yoga. I guess what would you call that pose?
Well, De Lasal right there in touch, 1.35. You're going to have to let me think of that pose name. I'll come back by the end of the race.
Now, let's just go with the bent chicken wing. That'll be the yoga pose. But back to De Lasal on track and in touch at split 1. And really noticing, I mean, his fluidity is just beautiful. Poetry in motion. He's minimizing mistakes. Looks like he's making attack cranks where he needs to. Great braking setup here.
Yeah, that was smooth, and even just not skidding out and having to try to recover, that's saving a little bit of energy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a physical track, so saving energy, being, very efficient with your energy. There we go. It took me a second to get that word out. But, yeah, being efficient in the middle part of this track is going to help you really make up some time through the Red Bull Ravine.
Yeah, you're going to need all the fast twitch energy you've got on those big compressions, big landings to drive the bike forward. De Lasal just bouncing everywhere.
And in touch, 3.33 back. So, man, Nate Kitchen really threw down a heater. No one is even close to him today. It's insane.
De Lasal wide right there. Looks like he could have got caught up just a smidge. There's some interesting rocks in that section we can't see.
Yeah, I'll have to look again, but it looked like De Lasal clipped his right foot. I'm not sure if he came fully unclipped or not, but yeah, that didn't pan out the way he wanted it to, but he's back on form, back on pace. Here he comes into the Red Bull Ravine.
Well, Mikey De Lasal for Gwin Racing here at Windrock Bike Park. Round number 4, downhill southeast. He's putting his bid for a podium. He goes third. 4.7 off the time of Nate Kitchen, but he's sitting in third place with 3 riders left to go.
Solid ride for Mikey De Lasal. He was able to shave off a few seconds from his seating, but it's going to take 5 seconds or better to be in a podium contending ride today is what it's looking like.
Well, let's hear it from our hot seat rider, Nate Kitchen.
Yeah, man, it was actually super sick. The track was super dry. Had a flat yesterday, so I'm pretty frustrated about that. So just, yeah, lean back and let it eat today. So we'll see how it holds up with these last 3 riders.
Well, interesting to hear from Kitchen on how he made it happen today. He just let her eat. Chris Grice, a man that's been letting her eat all year. He's been on fire, Chris.
He is so due for a win. I mean, it's going to happen in 2025. And I could be wrong, but I have a hunch that it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, he's a young man, only 21 years of age, but a ton of experience on the USDH circuit.
Oh, just so clean in this top section for Chris Grice. I mean, that is critical. His aggression and intensity is... Whoa! Did you hear that? That was
bottom bracket smacking a rock, and he's up here. Quarter of a second in the green.
All right, this wouldn't be the first time that Chris Grice was up at split 1. All he's got to do is just keep it together, keep building this run. He's doing everything he needs to do to put himself in contention to grab that hot seat from Nate Kitchen.
Yeah, he's slamming into these corners, and he's on a little bit of a different pace, Grizz. Maybe it's just the unique way he rides, but this is looking really quick.
Yeah, I mean, Crispy is just one of these riders that rarely makes a mistake. And as I say that, he makes a little bobble, but look at the quick recovery.
Oh, and pulls that big gap we saw David Conduce of the North Carolina boys exchanging some lines, it looks like.
Yeah, the Pisgah popper.
Well, Grice going to get in and out of these turns with a vengeance, I'm sure. And oh, yeah, you can see the pace he's carrying as he comes up and out of that G-out, heavy on the pedals again.
Yeah, that was great exit speed. We've seen a lot of riders stall out that left-hander. It's harder than it looks, and, I mean, that gap is looking easier and easier with every rider that just greases it.
Oh, and Grice with another tug right there, so he lost a little bit of time, but it's only about a half second back on Nate Kitchen. Grice has many a lap down here through the Red Bull Ravine, so you know he's got it ready. His legs are going to be burning.
But he's ready to hit the afterburners into the Red Bull Ravine. He knows he's just so due for a win, and he's in touch. Can he bring it home? That's all he needs to do is just bring it home.
Oh, Grice. Perfect there on all of those transitions. He's got 1 Pro Downhill Southeast win to his name. Can he add to that trophy case today?
Through the Red Bull Ravine.
Chris Grice through the finish line.
Chris Grice
and he'll go second. Just 0.4 of a second back for Chris Grice.
Wow.
Won't be Grice's day for a dub today, but still an exciting one for me.
Yeah, Chris Grice. I mean, that mistake right there could have essentially cost him the win, or at least taken the hot seat today. So Crispy, I'm frustrated for him. I mean, he has been green at split 1, and with pop like that, you know he's about to pop to the top step. It's just a matter of time.
Well, Gavin Tomlinson from Burbank, California for Gwin Racing was second yesterday. Only 2 more riders to decide who will be on top of round number 4 SRAM Downhill Southeast. And these new Crestline bikes, Grizz, they did pretty well in New Jersey.
That they did, and they're going pretty good here at Windrock. I mean, this pace is looking phenomenal. Look at that setup, clean execution through the nastiest rock garden on this track for Gavin Tomlinson. And I will say, I was blown away to see Gavin Tomlinson on the same second, just a few tenths back on his boss, Aaron Gwin, in seating yesterday. I mean, it was impressive.
Oh, and he's in touch at split number 1, 37.47. Yeah, that's actually a smidge slower than he was yesterday at split 1, Grizz. Tomlinson had the fastest split number 1 and 2, even faster than Aaron Gwin in seating.
Interesting. You know, I wonder where he lost that time. We didn't record a seating run, so. But we've seen it before. We can probably see it again. Split 1 isn't everything, especially we're not at the Monster Energy Pro Downhill, so there's no prize for split 1 taking the whole shot. He can build into this run, and Tomlinson is certainly capable of taking the hot seat from Nate Kitchen.
Yeah, and he was basically right there in seating, you know, faster than Gwin at 1 and 2. So Tomlinson, can he find that little extra gear that he needs today to take a win? Oh, tight right there.
Wow, just making lemonade out of that. That back end stepped out violently, entering that tricky left-hander, but he's back on form and just a bit off. He's bleeding a little bit more time at split 2. He can still bring it in. There's not a lot of track and not a whole lot to separate these riders from here to the bottom, but just perfection from here on down and some little extra afterburner pace could get the job done, Will.
Yeah, we didn't think there was all that much time, but then Chris Grice, dropped over a second from split 2 to the bottom. So we'll see what Tomlinson's got in him. He was certainly up to pace yesterday in seating.
Yeah, I did see an error. Tomlinson stalled out a corner just a few seconds ago, so that's not going to work in his favor. This is such a critical section of just build and hold your speed.
Well, it's great to see Tomlinson here at Downhill Southeast, a man that qualified for every Junior World Cup of the season last year. He's going to break the beam, and he's going to go third. 240.37, so hanging on to the last step of the podium with one rider left.
Unreal. It's getting tighter, and unfortunately, some of these mistakes, maybe Tomlinson should have hit the Pisgah Popper right there. That could have brought him back in.
Yeah, certainly would have helped the setup. Greased this rhythm, though.
Yeah, that was beautiful execution through those whoops.
Well, our final rider, none other than Aaron Gwin from right here in East Tennessee. The man has been on fire on the U.S. downhill scene, fresh off a win in New Jersey.
Love to see Gwin back on form, healthy, and just showing all these young whippersnappers what time it is.
Oh, just drifting it over that compression.
Wow, he just smashed that inside line so hard.
Yeah, there's no support on that, is there?
No. I mean, that was insane. I mean, I would be on my face right now if I tried anything like that.
Oh, and it's a 36.63. He's up on Nate Kitchen.
We've got ourselves an intense final here. This is a tight downhill race. Come to expect it. I mean, USDH has a depth of talent unlike any generation we've ever seen. And Aaron Gwin leading that charge. I mean, he is the reason for being for this current crop of USDH.
Yeah, we got 20-year-olds going toe-to-toe with the GOAT as Gwin drifts it around that left-hander.
He is absolutely not holding back, opting to not hit that Pisgah Popper. But look at this speed. I mean, that was flawless.
Gwin just looking ahead in these corners. Setting up nice and wide right there. Kind of just a flat left-hander that wants to zap your speed. Split 2's right here. Oh, and he's back. He slipped back to third place, 1.5 into the red.
Wow, tough to tell where he lost that time. I mean, Nate Kitchen, he has maintained the hot seat the entire race, Will. This is for sure the first time we've seen it this season. Has this ever happened in Downhill Southeast history?
I don't think I've ever seen it, Grizz. This is some incredible riding that Nate Kitchen put down early on. Oh, Gwin going to give us a manual there for the rhythm section as well. And, I mean, he's going to be fast as anybody down here, but I don't know if it's 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, this is insane. Nate Kitchen shows up to his first ever Downhill Southeast race, and he's in contention to win it. Can Gwin do it?
Gwin goes third. He's going to make some time back up at the bottom. Actually pulled back over a half second, but it won't be enough. And, yeah, Nate Kitchen, sure he's got a little sunburn from sitting in that hot seat for so long.
Oh, yeah, a little champagne shower to cool down that nice Windrock humidity. I mean, that was an exciting race. I can't believe it. Nate Kitchen did it.
Well, Gwin was certainly throwing it at this track. Big gap right here, almost a flat.
Yeah, look at him. They just take a little foliage off the trees. Just what an absolute unit. And this flow through these whoops right here. Yacht, just bump jumps out. Come on, who else does that?
Well, it wasn't Gwin's day today. It's all about Nate Kitchen standing on top of the box. Chris Grice right there in second place with Aaron Gwin rounding out the podium in third. Let's hear it from our winner.
Yeah, the weekend was sick. It's my first downhill Southeast, and really enjoyed the huge practice sessions we had last 2 days. Fortunately, had a little flat tire at the start seating yesterday, so started first today, and then yeah, I guess I just put down a good run and held in the hot seat till the last rider and got the job done today.
Well, big results from a number of riders here today as we look at the full results. And Grizz, we've still got 2 more rounds of racing, but that was a burner right here at Windrock.
Absolute burner. And, you know, Chris Grice, he's going to be frustrated to not get the win, but he did what he needed to do to gain points. So it'll be interesting to see where the overall is after this weekend. Colin Mckelier, he threw down as well, did what he could. So we've got an epic points battle as we go into the final 2 rounds of the 2025 SRAM Downhill Southeast season.
Nate Kitchen going to put in a hot time today with Cali Stewart riding for BGR Mondraker.
Round 4 of our 2025 SRAM Downhill Southeast Series. Another exciting weekend of racing here at The Rock. Big congratulations to our winners today, Cali Stewart and Nate Kitchen. Join us again June 6th through the 8th as we return to Beech Mountain in the high country of Western North Carolina. On behalf of myself and the entire crew here at the Gravity Co-op, we want to thank you for supporting U.S. Downhill.
What are we doing, boys? Oh, dude. This is the best.